Please welcome Global Head, Wealth and Asset Management at Salesforce, Ilan Davidovici.
Good afternoon, everybody. Quickly, make your exits. The last presentation at the end of the day, it's perfectly fine. I get it. I've been in the same position. You've been here for 2 days, I haven't. But I am the punchline to the two and a half day conference. I'm excited to be here and speak to those that are still around. I was joking backstage. They asked me, what are you going to say as the punchline of the conference? My son told me a joke just yesterday that he said I should open up with. He said, guy walks into a bar, asks for some punch. The bartender says, you want some punch? You gotta get in line. The guy looks around, he says, I can't find the punchline. So now I can go back and tell my son that I told a joke at an industry conference because I am the punchline. My job today is to give you a little perspective on perhaps what is the punchline. I think it's client relationships. Salesforce is all about customer relationship management. I'll give a little bit of our perspective on that in the wealth management industry, and then if we finish early, you guys are off to the bars to find the punchline. All right, we are convinced, our lawyers are convinced that at the end of this presentation, you're gonna run out of here and ask for a purchase order to buy more Salesforce product. If you do so, make all of your purchasing decisions based on readily available product. That being said, Salesforce has been on quite a run for the last 18 years. We have doubled each year. We're going to accomplish $10 billion in revenue this year. And it's been a fantastic run. 3 years ago, we really doubled down on industries, and financial services was really the capstone, the cornerstone of that with our Financial Services Cloud product. So if you think about core Salesforce, we've got Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Service Cloud, and so on. Capabilities that run horizontally across all industries, right, to provide those sort of Salesforce automation capabilities. About 2.5, 3 years ago, we invested in building out the Financial Services Cloud, which is a purpose-built product specifically for wealth management. It's going to be released in about 6 months for retail banking and then insurance after that. The goal is to really give large global financial services organizations, as well as 1 and 2 and 3 person RIA shops, the ability to run their business across different products, across different asset classes, with their one customer in the full household view in the center of the experience. And as I mentioned, it's not just wealth and asset management. You know what? I didn't introduce myself. I will stop and say I run wealth and asset management for Salesforce. I've been here at Salesforce for about 2 years. Before that, I was part of Deloitte's wealth management consulting practice. And before that, for about 10 years, I ran a small RIA firm. So I know what it means to start a practice and grow it from the ground up with one client at a time, with $1 at a time. I know what it's like to speak with the large global financial services companies who are dealing with, what is robo and what is fintech and what is digital transformation and what decisions should they make in order to move along that process. And then here at Salesforce, which we believe we have one of the answers, and a good answer at that, to be able to address the needs within financial services. So a couple great customer stories to kind of kick things off and give you a perspective of what the industry is asking us for and what they're partnering with Salesforce to try to accomplish. I'm going around the horn here, starting with Transamerica in the bottom left. About a year ago, I imagine all of you are familiar with the DOL fiduciary rule, which went live with a whimper, not a roar, on June 9th. Still very important, still a need to show best interest to all of your clients. Transamerica came to us a year ago and said, whether DOL goes live or doesn't go live, we believe that proving best interest is in everybody's best interest. And more than that, we want all of our customers, we want everybody within Transamerica to have one view of the customer. Within 180 days, they have 4,000 advisors, 70,000 agents, all live on the Salesforce platform, doing marketing, doing compliance, giving an engagement portal to all of those agents, as well as a recruiting platform and a tool for all of the investors to be able to see all of their financial holdings, to onboard new products, obviously with the help of Laser App and other of our great vendors that are connected through the Salesforce Financial Services Cloud ecosystem. Going up around the horn there, next best action, Morgan Stanley came to us about a year ago and said, we have an interesting problem. The industry is growing, wealth management is growing, but our 25,000 advisors don't let us market to their book of business. Can you help us provide a tool to those advisors that they will use, which will allow us to grow the book of business, their book of business, through the 80% of customers that have held away assets more outside of Morgan Stanley than in Morgan Stanley? We've done that with Financial Services Cloud and our Marketing Cloud, something we call distributed marketing. the ability for advisors to quickly and easily put their clients and members of the client household on what we call nurture journeys, whether that's a 401k to IRA rollover, whether that's a simply unengaged to engaged. Those Morgan Stanley advisors now have the ability to click a drop-down menu, put a member of that household on a journey, and move on to the next client meeting. Deutsche Bank in the top right, 30,000 financial advisors globally across many different countries. They're running all of their regulatory requirements, all of their financial advisor desktop needs on the financial services cloud. And then finally, Citi, private bank, Citi Wealth, Citi Gold in the bottom right, who are in the process of implementing the financial services cloud with a very explicit purpose. Their goal is to do everything they can out of the box, with out-of-the-box objects, out-of-the-box implementation of Salesforce, and out-of-the-box integrations. They're going to be using Yodlee for held-away assets. They're going to be using Wealth Engine for lead generation and management. And they're going to be using MoneyGuide Pro for their financial planning tool, all connected through out-of-the-box integrations to Financial Services Cloud. So we recently, every year we come out with what we call the Connected Investor Report, which is where we go out and we poll thousands of investors and ask them questions about what's happening in the industry. What is your comfort level with AI? What's your comfort level with your current wealth management firm? How much of your assets are held with your current wealth manager versus another firm? We get a good picture of what's happening, not just what we hear, not just what we believe, but what the investors are telling us. And this year we focused heavily on AI. One of the questions we asked was, are you as an investor comfortable and willing to share more personal information? Right? It's an interesting question to ask. You've given all your wealth to your financial advisor. Are you comfortable sharing personal information about your relationship with your husband, or your relationship with your business partner, or your children, or your aging mother? 77% of them are willing. 68% are willing to share. 77% expect more personalized advice in return. The punchline here is that only 18% of them actually feel as though they're getting that personalized advice. So it's not advisors falling into the crevasse in the middle of that slide there, it's opportunity. If your clients are willing to share more personal information, and in return they expect more personalized advice in return, but only 18% of them are actually getting that, there's a huge opportunity that's not being capitalized upon. So the question that we ask ourselves, perhaps it needs to be a different question with that nice big space in between and personalized, don't worry, we'll fix that after the presentation. Can intelligence help us automate, simplify, and personalize relationships to grow AUM at scale? So if we take that apart, we have to identify, we have to define what automate, simplify, and personalize mean. Relationships at the core of everything that we do at Salesforce, and we believe core to everything that happens in wealth management, and to grow AUM. And frankly, anybody can grow AUM. I did it myself at the time without Salesforce. But to be able to do so at scale and to truly provide that personalized experience, it's not just about filling out digital documents. It's not just about onboarding the right product. It's not about proving best interest. It's about making sure that your clients know that you know them and that you're putting them ahead of all of the other things that are going on in their lives and making that information, that advice that you're giving to them personalized. So let's define a couple of things before we go forward. We have spent a lot of money in the last year. When I say we, Salesforce, in fact, Mark Benioff, our CEO, said about a year ago, we're not going to buy any companies this year. We've been on a spending spree. Last year, we bought 16 companies. 13 of those were all in the area of artificial intelligence or cognitive or NLP. The idea being that we're integrating intelligence into everything that we're doing at Salesforce. I speak on this topic often, and I often am asked questions afterwards, what do you believe intelligence means? To me, it means, and to Salesforce, it means context plus action. What does that mean? Every great financial firm and lots of companies out there have great BI department, business intelligence departments that sit off on the side. You send a request to them, you get a report 2 weeks later. Does that truly give you the ability to make decisions in real time about your customers, about your clients, about growing AUM? We believe that if you can't take that intelligence and fold it into what you're doing on a daily basis, it's not truly intelligence. It's just good analytics that's sitting over on the side. What does that mean in context? So if you think about financial services and wealth management, there's a bevy of data that comes from all different sources, typically in siloed platforms, right? Held away data, engagement data, product, household and relationship data. We think intelligence is contextualizing it by connecting engagement data to predictive analytics, product data to next best action, or household and relationship data to service history. But what really makes it important is giving it to that advisor, that intelligence to that advisor in the moment. You all know we don't make decisions sitting in boardrooms at 3 in the afternoon. We make decisions at 10 at night as we're thinking about our next day, or when we wake up in the morning, or when we're working out. Can we give something to the advisors that exist out there that simply makes them more productive, allows them to do 4 meetings in a day instead of 3, allows them to onboard one more client that day, one more product? We believe intelligence being wrapped into everything that they do and making them smarter about who their clients are is the most important thing. So we live in a world, we live in a share everything economy. The example I use is Google. I open my calendar to Google. Google tells me I arrived in San Francisco yesterday. Welcome to San Francisco. This is the hotel you're staying at. This is the restaurant you ate at last time. Here's your Uber link. I open my calendar, which is not that invasive. I'm comfortable doing so. And in return, I get a personalized experience from Google, right? The example everybody used to use is Uber. The world is being Uberfied. Well, the reality is that's what I expect with a firm that I'm going to give my money to, that they're going to know who I am. If I'm broadcasting to the world what I'm doing, why can't my financial advisor take that information and make his advice or her advice even more relevant? And nowhere is that more true than in financial services and in wealth management in particular. One of the things that we found with the Connected Investor Report, though, is that only 3% of investors are using a robo-advisor to manage their money. So what does that mean? We talked about automation, personalization, simplification. In our world, in wealth management, typically that has been co-opted to mean robo or fintech. Well, we believe that legacy financial services providers who take on the mantra of make it easy, make it simple, make it personalized, will have the opportunity to take a little bit out of the fintech and robo playbook and grow their business that way. In fact, I read an article just a couple days ago on Investment News, maybe you all have as well. Just last week, this article came out with a ranking of the robos that are growing quicker than any others. Did anybody see that article? Vanguard's robo service in the last 30 months, in the last 2.5 years, has grown net new assets of 107 billion new assets under management. Schwab's personal intelligent advice, intelligent portfolios, 20 billion of assets under management. Everything else is a race for second or third, 10 billion for Betterment, and so on and so forth. That is to say that your firms and the financial services, wealth management firms that exist out there who become easier to deal with will grow with net new assets. This is a report that came out by CB Insights a couple of months ago. Top 100 fintech providers across lending, payments, money transfer, digital currency. We knew a lot of these firms were partners and customers of Salesforce. We went back to the workshop and actually looked to see how many of them were actually powered by Salesforce. It turns out 70% of them are running part or all on the Salesforce platform, which is the punchline, perhaps, to my presentation today, which is connecting to organizations like Salesforce and LaserApp, which are making your experience easier and making you more productive, will allow you to be part of this transformation in the industry that's taking place. So what does intelligence mean? I ask this in client meetings and presentations regularly. What does AI, artificial intelligence, mean? What does AI mean? And the best answer I got recently was AI means almost implemented. Anybody else heard that? No, I've heard that a lot recently. It's true. If you think about lots of great companies out there, lots of great ideas, but so many of them are hard to bring to reality, right? It's another thing that's in the BI department that's taking a great algorithm and not really producing a heck of a lot. For us at Salesforce, we approached AI, we approached intelligence with a simple idea, which is we don't want to come with a bias to the conversation or a hypothesis. We're not trying to prove anything. Every financial services company has data. And reams of data, right? This is an old story. Everybody knows this. If you've got reams of data, can you mine that data to figure out what are the algorithms? What is the data telling you? By that I mean, if your top 10% of advisors are accomplishing 50% more AUM, is there something the data can tell you? They simply meet more face-to-face. They're friends with their clients on Facebook instead of just LinkedIn, so they bridge that divide. They lead with a certain product. They lead with a certain, right? What can the data tell you? If the data can tell you something, then you can implement that across your business in a way that others are not able. I mentioned this to a big wealth management customer a few weeks ago, and they said, AI to us meant communicating a lot, but what we figured out when we audited our communications was that communicating with our customers meant 70 to 100 pieces of communication per month. Do you think that made their customers feel more connected to the experience? I don't think it did. For us, AI, in the realm of customer relationships, means truly allowing the client at the center of the experience, not just in the FA, the financial advisor, the distribution channel, but across product, across the middle and back office, across digital channels, across everything that you do. And the goal, when you think about the example I used with Morgan Stanley and the distributed marketing, is to take current clients or new clients and take them from unengaged to engaged, to grow your book of business, to grow your assets under management using personalized touch points, AI-based next best actions, and proactive communications. So the goal that we go to market with, the tools that we're building in the Financial Services Cloud, allow advisors to truly know who their customers are, to guide them to where we think they should go, perhaps before they even know, and to make it as easy as possible. It's as simple as that. Know them, guide them, and make it effortless, not just for the customers, but for the advisor as well. Advisors are busy, unless they're 59 and a half and playing golf, as the average advisor is. But those who are hungry and still growing their books of business, we want to make their client relationships with the full household as productive as possible. Now, everything I've said so far I believe to be kind of foundational table stakes for getting it right and building your platform, building your business for the next 10 years of growth. Phase 2 is truly being able to engage with the entire household across your entire book of business. What do I mean by that? Everybody pays lip service to this, but most wealth management firms truly only serve the primary client and may have some cursory relationship with the larger client household. The reality is there's a spouse and perhaps children or maybe adult children. There's sometimes business partners. There's aging parents. Each of these different parts of the household have different goals, have different relationships, have different challenges. And these challenges have to be brought to bear when you're giving advice. You know, before robo and fintech became the craze in our industry, it was all about goals-based advice. And goals-based advice is very important. But truly knowing who your customer is gives you the ability to compare goals and to give advice based on truly knowing who they are. Maybe with your family, it's about maximizing savings, but also saving for the college fund, right? It's about getting a line of credit for the business, but getting the highest business valuation that you can get. And with the aging parent, maybe it's a mother, maybe it's a mother and a father. I don't know who built this slide. I'm going to go back to my marketing department, tell them that it could be the father that lives a long time as well, but neither here nor there. The mother, making sure that her inheritance goes a long way, as well as the long-term care insurance, that you have it to cover and protect that insurance. And into that mix comes the financial advisor who's just trying to be productive and grow his or her business. Having the ability to maximize every encounter with the customer, with the client. Having the ability to glean information from emails. Maybe your client or their household prefers to communicate by text. Maybe they want an engagement portal where they can schedule their own meetings with you. Maybe they just want to look at their financial holdings and they don't ever want to talk. Maybe they don't want an invitation to your golf tournament, right? Maybe they want to sign pieces of paper, even though they do everything else digitally. Being able to give your clients and their households what they need is about truly growing your book of business. We believe we have the purpose-built product in wealth management to be able to address these and other concerns. That's core Salesforce, on top of which we've built the Financial Services Cloud with the ability to truly understand clients and their full household, with financial goals, with financial holdings, assets and liabilities, accounts, and so on and so forth, on top of which is our robust and growing app exchange partners. I was told before I came on stage by the president of Laser App, and I'll say this here publicly, that logo is going to be up there. The Laser App logo is going to be up there come next year. In fact, it could be up there in a couple months. Through the Science product, for those of you who are familiar, you can use Laser App within the Financial Services Cloud already, but there will be a direct out-of-the-box integration built. So to sum everything up, and we'll let you go a little bit early and find that punchline and the bar that you visit tonight. Our goal is to help you guide clients to the summit of success, to make sure you know them, you're making it easy, and you're guiding them every step of the way. And most importantly, you're doing it at scale, right? With automation, simplification, and personalization. Last point I'll make, everybody has the opportunity to try Financial Services Cloud for free. You can go to that link, Financial Services Cloud free trial, and begin your free trial. Number two, I've mentioned a couple times the Connected Investor Report. You can also just put into Google Salesforce Connected Investor Report, you'll go to our site and you can download that for free. And then any questions, I'll be here afterwards. Shake my hand. Thank you all very much.